You sure this is the place?
Yeah, this is where he told us to go.
This job better be worth it. I hate cemeteries. They give me the creeps.
Stop being such a baby. There's nothing in here but bones. Now, come on, help me with this. Alright, coast is clear. Let's find that treasure.
What about that water bottle on the bench? Someone's been here.
Thing's covered in dust, dude. Ain't nobody been in here for a while. Now quit acting like such a sissy. Ain't nothing in here to be afraid of.
Hello. I am Scary Sis.
And I am Scary Bro.
And we are
The Scary Sibs! And stay out, punks.
Hello, mortals, and welcome to Scary Sibs.
Everyone knows your home is supposed to be your safe place. A place where you can rest, relax, and feel relatively protected from the dangers of the world. In that sense, it's utterly terrifying to consider the fact that this safety can be shattered when someone intrudes into your home to rob you, harm you, or worse.
The idea of a home invasion makes you feel as though you have nowhere to go and no escape from evil people and their wicked intentions, and is all too realistic of a fear. And we're here to discuss 10 horror movies we feel best capture the terror of having your safe space intruded upon.
We decided to do this because we ourselves have had quite the strange uptick in break-ins of late. Those two idiots we scared off make, the third group of burglars this week we've had to chase off?
Yes, that's right. I wonder why so many people keep breaking into the crypt. I can answer that, darlings.
Oh, great. Althea Smitty, the socialite from the 20s who had this crypt built.
Yes, that's right, Scary Bro. Though you of all people should know that with as long as you've been here. So, do you know why all these people keep breaking in? Of course, darlings. I know exactly what they're after. Follow me to the catacombs. They want the vast fortune I was buried with.
Wow, I never knew all this was down here.
Of course not, darlings. The last time you were down here, you were hurtling yourselves through the multiverse using a pile of scrap metal and a tractor tire.
Oh, yeah. We have weird lives.
In any case, I can't stand the thought of those hooligans getting their hands on my precious gold. So why don't you two be lambs and protect it for me, will you?
We're not your guard dogs, lady.
No, but you are guests in my family crypt. Be a shame if I decided you outstayed your welcome. She's got a point. As much as I hate this dump, it's our only home.
Fine. But I hope these burglars give up soon because this is getting tiresome.
Well, while we wait for the next inevitable break-in, let's go ahead and get into the countdown. Here are our picks for the top 10 home invasion films.
Number 10, The Purge. In the near future, when the United States holds an annual Purge Night, where all crime is legal for 12 hours, a rich family is hunkering down and preparing to survive the night. But after their son lets in a homeless man begging for help, the family is confronted by a group of purgers that were hunting the man. With time and the gang's patience running out, the family may have to decide between their morals and their survival.
On one hand, this is a powerful film about wealth versus poverty and how those divides shape how we view one another. It raises questions about what would we do in that situation and is an interesting look at the choices we would make in the name of safety. The acting was also great and the masked group was scary and intimidating. But on the other hand, it was kind of sloppy. The ending was so frustrating. The protagonist made poor choice after poor choice, and everyone involved made things 1,000 times harder on themselves than need be. The boyfriend coming in to kill the dad, and the masked guys who wanted the family to find and deliver the homeless man, then cut the lights off, and more. Still, this is a creepy movie that definitely reaches new levels of home invasion since police and first responders are unavailable, and it's essentially every man for himself.
Personally, the second film is my favorite in this series, as it actually takes full advantage of the premise instead of being confined to just one house. However, this movie was still enjoyable for what it was. Was it perfect? No, that's why it's number 10, but it's still a solid home invasion film with a dystopian twist and enough creepy imagery to keep you watching.
Number 9, Funny Games. A family on a golfing retreat gets an unexpected surprise when a neighbor comes to borrow some eggs in a seemingly innocent exchange. The neighbor is then joined by his friend who enters the family's lodging and end up holding them hostage. The men force the mom, dad, and son to play games that are twisted and humiliating before they ultimately attempt to murder the family. The three must try their best to escape the clutches of the sadistic golfers before it is too late.
This is an example of what I like to call Euro schlock. That being a horror movie from Europe that tries to be as shocking as possible for the sake of it. And personally, it's just not my thing. I want the movie to scare me, sure, but I also want to be told a decent story that actually makes sense, not just people getting tortured for 90 minutes. I just don't find the scenario believable that these people would be this passive with these guys and barely make any attempts to fight back. I also found the fourth wall breaks distracting. Like, they kind of came out of nowhere and just sort of came across as awkward attempts to add comedy into an otherwise disturbing film. Also, the twist near the end came completely out of left field and felt completely unfair to the characters, leaving them no chance whatsoever. I get that these types of hyper-shocking European horror films have their fans, but they just aren't our thing.
We had very high hopes for Funny Games going in, and we do realize the horrifying idea of two seemingly nice guys who attack in broad daylight and seem impossible to get away from. However, most of the film fell disappointingly short for us as it just wasn't believable, making it not that scary. The family showed almost no emotion, even when one of them is killed. And I still think that the family could have overpowered the men. They really weren't that strong, and the three put up absolutely no fight.
Number 8, Panic Room. A woman named Meg and her daughter Sarah move into a brownstone house that once belonged to a millionaire who had a panic room built inside of the bedroom. That night, 3 burglars break into the home, hoping to steal a stash of money the millionaire allegedly hid in the house. Meg and Sarah initially use the panic room to hide, however, the persistent thieves are determined to find a way to lure them out.
This movie is suspenseful and intense as we watch Meg and Sarah try to escape these men. The banter among the criminals provided a welcomed comic relief, and there were some very real and raw emotions being displayed. This movie wasn't a horror film, more of a suspense, drama, thriller, but the home invasion itself still offered some tension, bolstered by the incredible acting.
This movie shows that when bad people are determined enough, even the strongest of defenses can't stop them. The acting, tension, and drama here really bring this hidden gem home, and while it isn't necessarily horror, as Sister said, we still recommend giving it a watch.
Number 7, When a Stranger Calls. The movie opens up with teenage babysitter Jill, who is watching 2 young children, when she starts getting calls from a man saying creepy and off-putting things to her, continuing to ask if she's checked on the children. She soon discovers that the calls were coming from inside the house, and the man, a murderer named Kurt Duncan, had already brutally killed the kids. Years later, Kurt escapes the mental institution he has been in, and a detective is searching for him and attempting to catch him before history can repeat itself.
I really wish that the entire movie was the babysitter sequence in the beginning. That part was tense, nail-biting, and suspenseful. After that sequence, however, the movie majorly loses steam. We really just follow the killer around as he meanders through the city, not doing anything interesting aside from stalking this one woman. But even then, he never gets overly scary again until the very end. Ironically, the remake does take place entirely on the opening scene, but this film got better reviews, so it's the one we chose to discuss. If that had been the plan from the beginning, this could have ranked higher. As is, it's a movie with a great beginning and end, with a boring slog of a middle sandwiched in between.
The scenes that work here work well, and the thought of a man being in your home and harming the children while calling you from inside your house is absolute nightmare fuel. We just wish that the film didn't drag so much in the middle with so much pointless meandering.
Number 6, Hush. A deaf and mute writer named Maddie is working on her latest story in her secluded house in the woods when she realizes she's being watched and targeted by a dangerous man who's already killed her best friend. The killer taunts her, threatening to break in and kill her as well. Faced with certain death and imprisoned in her own home, Maddie has to find a way to take this killer down before he gets to her first.
This movie comes from the horror mastermind Mike Flanagan. It is suspenseful, unique, creepy, and altogether an enjoyable watch. The fact that this was a random attack makes it even scarier. The acting was amazing and the ending was satisfying. One of the downsides of this movie is the fact that Maddie makes some questionable choices, like not arming herself with a kitchen knife or other weapon, or not turning on her loud alarm sooner. Also, the killer should have kept his mask on longer as it makes him scarier, yet he spends most of the movie without it on.
This was a movie that definitely played up the horror that comes with isolation. Being trapped with a maniac in the middle of the woods isn't ideal, especially when you can't hear. Though this can also be seen as a movie in which a young woman overcomes a disability to survive a harrowing situation.
Number 5, The Strangers. Couple James and Kristen return to James's family's summer cabin after attending a wedding together. The two were already having an awful night after James's botched proposal, but things are about to get way worse for the pair. 3 masked strangers show up at the cabin and begin to torment James and Kristen. They destroy their phones, cars, any means to which the couple could escape, and the strangers make it clear that they are there to kill the 2 unlucky victims. Kristen and James pull out all the stops in an attempt to make it out alive.
This is definitely one of the scarier films we've seen on this list, I will say that. The intruders themselves are frightening due to the fact that they barely speak and don't seem to have any motivation or connection to the couple besides simply wanting to terrify and kill them purely for fun. In my opinion, random attacks are normally scarier than if there's some kind of connection with the victim. However, what this movie has in scares, it sorely lacks in both acting and writing. The acting in this film is somewhat lackluster, especially in the beginning when the couple are supposed to be having a dramatic argument. They just seem bored and disinterested, and I just wanted the movie to just get to the scares already. Also, when the intruders do attack, the protagonists make a lot of dumb decisions that ultimately get them in trouble. Now, I did actually enjoy this film because of mainly how scary it was. It wasn't perfect.
We liked this movie. We just wish it had been a bit more realistic, as the strangers seem to appear and disappear very rapidly, almost like ghosts. Also, James and Kristen had a gun and they did not, so you would think that they would have put up a bit more of a fight. Still, we know why this is a staple of the home invasion subgenre with its dark atmosphere and creepy intruders. Here we go again.
How you doing, folks? Flip here with Frank's Fantastic Fiber. Finest fiber Wi-Fi forged finally in Frankfort, Kentucky. I just need to inspect your house for the best place to put this here modem. Say, lady, you got any outlets in a closet, a bedroom, an underground catacomb filled with treasure? Nah, it's okay. At Frank's Fantastic Fiber, we find the fit for your fiber functions firsthand. Let me just check this here catacomb here in just a jiffy. Doors that way, Chief. Well, you know what they say. Fiber isn't exactly for everyone, but if you take mind to check out Frank's Fantastic Fiber, the finest something. Just get out of here. Frick, how many more of these bozos are we gonna have to chase off?
No kidding. I guess it's our version of paying rent. We better suck it up and deal with it, I guess.
I do too. We kind of suck. Number 4, you're next. A wealthy family is gathering together to celebrate their parents' anniversary. A young woman named Erin recently started dating one of the sons named Crispin and is eager to meet the rest of the family. Suddenly, the dinner is interrupted by a trio of masked hitmen who set deadly traps to take out the family one by one. To survive, Erin must rely on the survival skills she learned as a kid to outsmart the assassins, save who she can, and uncover the disturbing connection the assassins have with this family.
This movie is goofy and lighthearted and altogether fun to watch. It's no A24 elevated horror film, but it is fun and brutal in equal measure. The acting is great, and I love Erin as our main girl. I also love the creativity of the attacks, and the animal masks are a menacing image. However, the scariest element is probably the reveal about what is actually going on and the fact that these things actually can happen.
I like how this movie flipped the usual tropes on their heads and gave us a final girl that is not only competent, but also in the last act becomes the hunter stalking the killers. This movie was certainly dark and violent, but also had enough fun and comedic moments to make it an entertaining watch.
Number 3, Don't Breathe. When 3 teenagers execute a plan to break into a blind veteran's home to steal money from him, they are met with a big surprise as he uses his other senses quite impressively to make up for his blindness in order to hunt them down. As the 3 begin to regret their decision to break into this particular home, they make several dark discoveries about what this man has been up to. Discoveries he would kill to keep a secret.
This movie is a bit of a unique entry on this list, as the roles here are reversed. The home invaders are the protagonists, and the homeowner is the villain. And they definitely do a good job of making this guy scary even before the big reveal that solidifies him as truly evil. He is a relentless, powerful force who, thanks to his blindness, has super sensitive hearing, meaning the thieves can't make a peep or they're done for. The only thing I take issue with is the fact that in the third act, they try way too hard to make us hate this guy. Like, they really want to make sure we're not rooting for him, so they go all in on making him as evil as possible. I feel like that was sloppily handled myself, but the movie still remained tense and scary throughout, with an amazing chase sequence in a pitch-black basement. This is still a highly recommended thriller, even if the third act gets a little clumsy.
This was a fun watch that I likely would watch again and recommend for others to see. I only wish they didn't try so hard to make us empathize with the thieves by trying to make this old man an over-the-top villain.
Number 2, The Last House on the Left. After breaking their leader Krug out of police custody, a trio of violent criminals, along with Krug's abused son Justin, hide out in a motel where they encounter 2 teenage girls, Mary and Paige. The gang murders Paige and violently assaults Mary, leaving her for dead. When a storm hits, the criminals seek shelter in a nearby house. But when Mary washes ashore still alive, they learn that the house belongs to her parents. Now the parents, along with a redeemed Justin, have to make sure Krug and his gang can't hurt Mary or anyone else ever again.
So, to be honest, we watched both versions of this movie, but ultimately decided to review the remake as it is, in our estimations, far better than the original. The acting, emotions, disturbing moments, and driving desire for revenge just all worked so well together in this story of 2 parents taking matters into their own hands. The idea of home invasion is a bit flipped on its head here, since the criminals didn't invade the family's home specifically to do harm, and then found themselves to be the ones stalked and hunted. Still, the feeling of having your daughter's attacker staying in your home is heart-wrenching.
Some of this movie's more intense scenes make it hard to watch at times, bolstered by how well the acting is in the whole film. But those early, brutal moments work together to make the later revenge scenes oh so satisfying.
Number 1, Incident in a Ghostland. This movie sees a mother and her 2 daughters, Vera and Beth, move into their new home that they inherited from a family member. On their move-in night, they are followed by a large and savage man and a scary, mysterious woman in a candy truck. The pair break into the home and inflict trauma and pain upon the family. We then jump to the future and see grown-up Beth, who seems successful and happy, get called back to the home by a distraught Vera. As stranger and stranger things happen in the house, we discover that Beth's nightmare may be far from over.
We ranked this film before in our psychological horror list, and on second viewing, yeah, it still holds up. Granted, it doesn't quite have the same impact now since we know the twists and know where it's heading, but the movie on its own is still great. It still has a way of messing with your mind and fleshing out the characters enough to make you care for them and want them to escape. That is, escape whatever it is that's going on. The intruders are also very effective. We don't know much about them or where they come from, but that's part of the horror. They're mysterious, violent, and seem inescapable. If you haven't watched this movie, try to go in as blind as possible, because not knowing the twist definitely enhances the experience.
This movie has one of the best twists you will see, and the horror that comes with the premise of a violent home invasion is on full display here. This movie deserves our number 1 spot.
Alright, enough's enough. I'm sick of you punks walking in like you own the place. Time to evict you permanently.
Wait, hold on, brother. The caretaker's repair bills are already high enough because of us. We don't need you going all stupid Saiyan on top of it.
Out of the way, you two. We're just here for the treasure.
Why are you so determined to get this particular pile of loot? Can't you just, I don't know, rob a bank or something?
Because that treasure is mine. Oh yeah? Says who? Says me. I'm sorry, who are you? You took your hat and sunglasses off all dramatically like it's supposed to be some big reveal, but I still have no clue who you are.
You fall asleep awake, don't you?
Sometimes.
This is Schmitty S. Schmitty, descendant of Althea Schmitty.
Oh, So, as in...
Current owner of this crypt.
Ah, so when I said earlier you were walking in here like you own the place, I literally do.
Wait, if you own this crypt, why are you having people break in?
Well, I really just needed some extra hands to help load all the treasure out of here, but when they kept running back saying they were chased away by ghosts, I told them to try to sneak past you guys. I mean, Althea told us to guard it. She threatened to kick us out if we didn't. Okay, first of all, Althea doesn't make the decision on whether you stay. I do. Second of all, that treasure should have been mine anyway. Althea was supposed to pass it down to her son, my great-great-grandfather, but instead, the greedy hag decided to be buried with it instead. Ever since, the Schmitty family has been poverty-stricken generations. That treasure is my birthright. I need it now more than ever to pay my daughter's medical bill. She's in the hospital with salmonella after eating Texas discount ice cream. Yeah, I remember the recall. Takes skill to suck so bad your ice cream gives people salmonella.
Well, will you excuse us for just 1 second? Care to explain? Oh, that Schmitty chap. Bah, well, just like my good-for-nothing parasite children, always wanting more. I don't owe a penny to those brats, darling, so I had myself buried with it and used spirits like yourselves to keep it safe.
His daughter is in the hospital. He needs this money.
The affairs of the living aren't my problem, darling. I'm dead. The world and its issues are below my concern now. How can you be so heartless? Easy, darling. You gather a lot of money and get savvy enough to make others do your bidding. Then it's quite easy.
Okay, guys, help yourselves. It's all yours.
Yep, we won't stop you.
Thanks. Okay, boys, let's hustle. There's a water.
Wait! What the devil are you doing? That's my gold and my jewels. You can't take that. Sibs, you let them take all my precious treasure. Now I'm just another forgotten soul buried under a crypt with nothing and no one. As you deserve. I've ruined my status, my wealth gone.
Yeah, sucks to be you, doesn't it?
Well, there concludes our list of top 10 home invasion films. Do you agree or disagree with our picks? Let us know in the comments. And please like and subscribe.
Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. Until then, I'm Scary Brew.
And I am Scary Sis, and we are
the Scary Sibs.